This is Aaron. I am a military orthopedic surgeon who will be separating from the military this summer. I took advantage of the blended retirement system and have been investing in a Roth IRA. And I was hoping to get your opinion on what to do with those funds after I separate from the military. Should I keep them with TSP? Should I roll them over? Any guidance would be greatly appreciated. Thanks for your time.
Great question. Your real question here is, what do you do with your TSP money when you leave the military? Obviously, with the new BRS system, you get to leave with something you didn't used to get. When I was in, you didn't get a match on your 401k, your military 401k, aka the Thrift Savings Plan, or TSP. You just got the money you put in there. So that's all I left the military with, was the money I put in my TSP. You had to stay 20 years to get anything else, to actually get a pension from the military. Now you get that match, you get to take it with you if you leave early. But it's basically just like the money you put in the TSP. So the question is, do you keep the TSP or not? Now, when I left the military, I kept the TSP for a couple of reasons. One, at the time, it was the low-cost leader. It was the lowest expense ratio 401k out there. You got all these mutual funds at 1 or 2 basis points, and the other thing you got the special G fund, which the G fund gives you basically bond returns at money market risk. And so that's kind of a cool fund I've used as a significant holding in my portfolio ever since. The downside is I've had to manage another retirement account throughout my career. So it makes my portfolio a little more complex. So you can leave it there for now. If you decide after a while it's not worth it to you to have the G fund, and you look around and you're like, man, Schwab and Fidelity and Vanguard, they all have stuff that's just as cheap as the TSP these days. Maybe I'll just roll this into, my Roth IRA, or I'll roll it into my current 401k or whatever. Then I think that's fine to do, but there's no rush to get it out of the TSP. I left the military in 2010. My money's still in the TSP. I've actually done several rollovers into the TSP. So I wouldn't feel like you need to get the money out of there. One reason you might definitely want to take it out is if you have a bunch of after-tax money in there that you put in while you were deployed. It makes it a lot easier to roll that into a Roth IRA and no longer have after-tax money earning taxable, income on it. When you take that after-tax money out, all the earnings come out as tax-deferred money, and you have to pay taxes on them. But if you get that into a true Roth account, you don't have that problem. So that might be one reason to roll it over into a Roth IRA. But I wouldn't feel like there's some huge rush when you get out of the military to do something with your TSP. You can take your time and decide in a few months what you want to do. If you want your questions answered by the White Coat Investor, record your question at whitecoatinvestor.com/YQA or click the link in the description.
The hosts of the White Coat Investor podcast are not licensed accountants, attorneys, or financial advisors. This podcast is free entertainment and information only. It should not be considered professional or personalized financial advice. You should consult the appropriate professional for specific advice relating to your situation.